Hello. 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 Are we live? Are we live? Okie dokie. Right, let me just try and find you. Because in what can only be described as typical Beverliness, my tablet has died, which is exceedingly handy right about now. So I am coming to you from my phone. Oh, hang on, and I can hear myself, hang on. And I'm trying to watch you on Dave's phone, if anybody wants to talk to me. So that's just typical Bev, innit? You know, everybody's locked inside and the tablet's died. Absolutely fantabulous. Okay, so I hope you're all doing okay. Well, as okay as you can. I know Sam's done a couple of, you know, in the conservatory with Sam, which is great. Lots of you have been messaging us, and we've been messaging back. So if anyone else feels they want to have a chat about anything, sound off, have a rant. That's absolutely fine. You can totally do that, and we're more than happy for you to do that in any way you want. So we are. So I've done a sew and a write about half a dozen times already. See. Not much changes. So we're going to be doing, I'm just working in at the minute like a drawing book, a drawing pad, an A4 drawing pad, on 120 GSM. Nearly caught you out with the time. See, I just like to mix it up, keep you on your toes. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I'm just messing in this at the minute, because it's fun. And if you saw my picture I put on earlier, basically I was just, Dave got home from work and he was cutting the grass and whatever. So I just grabbed my pad, grabbed the nearest inkable, which at that time was the chrysanthemum. And is this chrysanthemum or the dahlia? See, now I'm doubting myself. Might be the I can't remember. Now I'm doubting myself. And my Delusions painty pens, and just went outside and just sat at the table just to have almost like 20 minutes in the sunshine. Just not really, you know, just doodling and having a bit of fun, which is what, you know, why not? Okay, so this isn't what we're doing tonight, but I thought I would just show you basically what I did. So I think I've got, the thing is I can't remember which way I did it now. Not that it matters. Oh, there we go. Right, so for this page, you know, just to start doodling and playing, I basically put my inkable onto my page. I mean, you could tape it down if you wanted to, but like I said, I was just playing, having some colouring, almost, you know, make your own colouring pages with your inkables, you know, just have some fun with it. And that's what I did, and I started just picking out petals with different colours, and you know, just some I coloured in, some I just drew outlines, some I dotted round and what have you. And then when I lifted it off, I then started adding in other colours, which is great. Because the thing with your Delusions pens, obviously, is you can add colour onto colour and quite accurately, which is really, really cool. So it is a dahlia. See, Sammy's on it. It's a dahlia. Is the chrysanthemum the more bloomy one? It is, the chrysanthemum. I had a chrysanthemum sample earlier. What did I do with it? Are you alright, Caitlin?
I got that sample. I put it between mine.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we just the chrysanthemum's the more roundy one. Let me just grab. No, do you know what? I'm not, because I might knock my phone off, and then I'll there is some pictures of that one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a bit of a play, do some watercolouring and painting, and maybe add some stamps in, and you know. So we're just going to have a go with that. So I'm just going to flip this over. You know, I am gonna, sorry, just quickly, I am gonna just keep adding to this, and just, you know, I might put some of me shimmer sprays on to play with, and some gems and some sequins, and might add some sentiments on. I might even add some you know, some book page stuff on with matte medium, but I haven't really decided yet. So let's not pretend for 1 ounce that I've got a plan, because, you know, no one would believe it anyway. Right. So what I'm going to do is, actually, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have a play, have a mess, and see what comes out, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open some of my paints. I've got some Inktense, I've got some watercolor pencils. I've also got, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are doing right now, I'm coming across, I've actually started to play in my craft room, and I found stuff that I'd forgotten I own, which is great in a way, because, you know, it's almost like doubling your stash, isn't it? When you find stuff you didn't even know you had. And I found these Spectrum Noir colour blends. Oh, hello, sorry. That I didn't even know I had. And I've got several of them, so we might have a play of them and see what happens as well. And I've got some stamps to play with too. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a play and whatever. Kids, could you do me a favour?
Is this enough?
Yeah, that's perfect. Could you do me a favour? Could you go into my black thing and grab me my tub of oxides, please, darling? Because I think I'm gonna need them. I'm gonna need them too. Yeah, into me tote, and then I might have to go and get them myself in a minute. So the thing is, with these, I thought this would be a good chance as well, because I'm sure, you know, while you guys are at home, you know, you might have found stuff in your stash that you didn't know how to use. I will say, you know, if you've got stuff in your stash that you don't know how to use, you can always give us a shout either on here. No, that I'm not really sure what you think I asked for, but that's paracetamol, kid. The distress oxides, the ink pads in the you know, I'm sure you've got stuff, and if there is something you're like, well, I can't remember what I bought that for, I can't really remember what it does, you know, ask us, ask in this Be Crafty Stamps group as well, because I will tell you something, if I don't have it or Sam doesn't have it, there is friggin', I would bet $1 to the pound that Jane Royston's got it, and she will probably be able to answer your questions. The little craft hoarder that she is, I'm telling you. There's probably stuff in her crafty cave, you know, but who knows. So what I'm going to do, actually, because we've got these colour blends, I am actually going to find a Colorini stamp so we can just have a little look at them, because I don't know if you guys have got them. It's not something we sell, so, you know, I'm not trying to vlog you out. I just want to have a look at them, see what they're like. So let's have a go. Oh, I tell you what, you cannot beat. There are two stamps that I always go to if I'm testing colouring, and that is me Doodle Art Dragonfly or my Doodle Art Sunflower. You know, if I want to test a colouring, you just can't go wrong. They're absolutely awesome. Right, so I'll grab that. I really shouldn't put my stamps down on a clear white pad, should I? Because, you know, it's not like they're ever going to be clean. So I'm going to take my VersaFine and I'm going to ink that up on there. I do need a new VersaFine at the minute, but they are out of stock at the suppliers. So I'll just whack him straight in the middle. Why not? Why not? We're just playing, having fun. Hi Wendy, hi everybody. I haven't said hello to you all individually, I am sorry. Yeah, you can see I really do need a new VersaFine, but that's okay. It gets left open a lot when I'm at demoing or whatever. So I'm going to pick some of these colour blends. What shall I pick? Shall I pick a pink and a purple, you know, just because Sam's not here to tell me I'm not allowed. There we go. And let's see what these are like. Okay, so I'm going to start there. Now, as far as I'm aware, these just sort of blend together without the need for water. I'll probably do is going to go back over the... Oh, they're quite nice, aren't they? Oh, quite like them. So, and this is the thing, you're gonna find things in your stash that, you know, where'd that come from? Don't even recall buying it. And, you know, we all do that. We all do that. So, we can just have a little... That's not too bad at all. Quite like that. But I will say that I am a big fan of my watercolours. So I have these ones. And I've got a little box as well. And again, these were something I actually found during the last tidy up. Whatever. And these are watercolour pencils. Which I think are just so easy to use. They are so easy to use. I'm sure other watercolour pencils are just as awesome, but these are the ones I know. So for example, if I'll go on with, say, a purple there. I'm going to come in with a yellow, I think. This is going to be a very jazzy dragonfly when I'm done. Okay, and then, just with my water brush, I'm going to put a blending mat underneath, so I've got something to work on. There we go. So with a water brush, ooh, it's dirty water in my water brush. Hey, that's that Sam, that is. Okay, you can just... Where's my cloth? Probably a bit too much water. You can just drag it out. It's just easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Absolutely love it. Okay, so those are the two sort of, you know, I was going to say, these colour blends, are you supposed to use water with them? I don't think you are. No, I don't think so. They're nice though. They're nice. Excellent. So yeah, if there's anything in your stash, you know, that you're thinking, what on earth did I buy that for? When did I buy it? What the hell is it? You know, you can always give us send us a message. In case you missed Sam's live earlier, and you haven't had a chance to catch up with it, we just want to let you know that obviously the shop is now closed to visitors, but we are still going in and processing orders as long as Royal Mail can process. So, you know, if just to let you know, if there is anything, we are still processing orders at the minute. Oh, I tell you what I could also do, because what I've also got, see, I have the Derwent Inktense 24, and I've also got this little one, Inktense paint palette. Now the reason I have two, would I say, is the reason most crafters have everything, because we lost the first one. And I was prepping for a Chanda show, and I think it was the Doodle Art launch last year, and I really like to do my doodle art with my Inktense blocks, and I couldn't find them, as in gone. Couldn't find them anywhere at all. I really did look, and I couldn't find them. So I went and did my saddest face at Dave. So he quickly ordered me these, which meant I promptly found this one. So as you can see, this one is used by the kids quite a lot. But they're such vivid colours. They're such vivid colours. I'm going to look for a cleaner brush so I can show you. And they go such a long way. Well, I've never had to replace any, and mine are a couple of years old. You know, and they just go on like an absolute dream. Whee! Look at that. Hardly touched it, and look. It's just amazing. What's also is it's a really opaque coverage, so you can actually go over other stuff if you like. Do you know what? I'm gonna just jazz that up a bit. It's quite an opaque coverage, so you can really use them, which is fab. So yeah, exactly, Lane. Royal Mail is an emergency service, and they absolutely are, in my opinion. You know, they're really, really, really important. So as long as our village post office is still going, we will keep going. So aside from that, we're taking all the obviously sensible precautions everyone else is. Okay. So yeah, you can just see, you know, and you can see why as well. I love to use my Dragonfly for colourings testing, because it's just awesome. You know, while I'm here, we are actually going to go on to a new page, I absolutely promise. But in case you have just tuned in, this is what I've been playing with this afternoon. It's the... Sam, what is it? I've already forgotten again. Oh dear. Hang on, I'm going to scroll down, because if I can't... Yeah, so this is the Dahlia. And I was just doodling with my Delusions paint pens. Now, the great thing about the paint pens is, you know, the opacity... There's a good word, I know. The opacity of Delusions paint is excellent. You can work over the top. But obviously sometimes you need it in quite a precise way. So for example, so you've got these here. Now when they're new, and every time you use them, make sure you give them a good shake. There's a little widget in there. Give them a good shake, and you need to pump them to get them working. Okay, and then Sam's shouting at me. But what it means is you can work around a little bit. So I know lots of you have these, and I know there is also a chance that they've never been out the packet. So what I will say is, while you've got a chance, honestly, get them out, have a play, because there are so many fab colours. What have we got here? Cut grass. You know, and you can see. So you can see I'm working on a blank bit there. But if you wanted to work over the Inktense, you've also got that really vivid colour. I'll show you with the pink actually. Going over the Inktense as well. So if you want to add in your own details, let me just hold it up a bit. So if you want to add in, is that the right place? I can't see. Oh, there we go. So if you want to add in your own details, like here, you know, they are really, really cool. Alrighty. Right, I am actually going to stop going on a sec. I'm going to flip the page. Knocked you again, sorry. Right. So I've got an idea, a very vague one, of a page I'd like to do. So we're just going to see how that goes and work on it. Okay? So I think I'm going to turn my book slightly, just ever so slightly. Yeah, absolutely. Sam says store your Delusions paint pens on their side. Absolutely. Said if there is a sediment in them, it goes on the side and doesn't block your nibs. For example, we do the same with the shimmer sprays on their side, because if you look then, the sediment lies on the side, and if you accidentally pump it straight away, it doesn't suck straight up the straw, which is also true for your white Delusion spray, because if you look, it is more of a suspended paint there. So when you shake it up, what it does mean is if you do shake it like that instead of swirling it, that the sediment doesn't go whoosh straight up the straw. Okay, so there we go. Super duper tipage. So there, look, see, Sam's all with all the tips. I think Sammy should be doing a try it out Tuesday. What do you think, guys? Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lock off my sprayer, and I'm going to spritz my card a little bit. And we're going to get a brush, and I think, oh, look at the state of that brush. We're going to add in some colours and sort of drag them down. Okay, so yeah, I'll spritz that. Obviously you could do this with your your pixie powders and brushes and all that sort of thing, anything you really like. So we're just going to add in lots of, so we're just going to keep, I'm actually going to use a bigger brush. I want some bigger strips of colour. Okay, then we're just going to fade them out a little bit. Okay, are they coming up? Okay, yeah, marvellous. Yeah, and also while I'm here, because I haven't mentioned this on our live yet, can I say thank you so much to everybody that supported our Janie on Sunday. Wasn't she absolutely marvellous? God, she was amazing. So calm and so prepared. She's well better than us. Okay, so we're just going to go, I'm just going to add a few more of that in. And we're going to pull that colour down. Okay. I'm just, you can see it's not, I spritz my brush occasionally just to add in a bit more water. There we go. I think I'm going to add in some stripes of green. And then I'm going to go in with the wide. So I'm sort of adding in like the strips of colour, sort of sideways, and then I'm going in with the broad stroke to pull it down. Okay? Which is quite cool. So, has anybody had a chance to craft? Have you had any sort of chances to craft about? My dinner is being cooked right now. My school schedule, the timetable I did, if you're on my friends list, that's for all 3 weeks. I also have a star chart. I tell you what, it's a big false sense of power having a star chart. You're like, I have the power. And you don't really. You've got no power at all. It's an illusion, but it's one I'm quite enjoying. The illusion of power. the keeper of the stars and whatever. But I will say this. I've just moved on to a finer brush now. Our school timetable is adaptable, it's subject to change, it's, you know, Abby's not so much, because a lot of her schoolwork is on Google Classroom, so she is really following her timetable. Caitlin's a little bit more adaptable, but you know, we're working through it. But you know, I do have to mix it up, and you know, we'll swap things about and whatever, you know, adding in. We had crafts down today for Caitlin, but she wanted to do some baking, so we did some baking. And then as soon as I started doing that daily earlier, she was like, "Oh, can I have a go at that?" So all I will say is, if you have got kids off school, don't drive yourself mad. If everybody's up and dressed and reasonably, well, not even dressed really, you can stay in your pajamas if you haven't got to go anywhere. And staying and managing to stay reasonably sane, you are winning at life. You really are. And that's, you know, when you're a new mum, everybody tells you, happy baby, happy mum, happy baby, you know. And I think at the minute, that's the way we've all got to be. Happy parent, happy baby, even regardless of their age. Right, okay, so this looks nothing like I thought it was going to look, but I'm actually really, really chuffed with it. So I'm just going to leave that to dry just a sec. Bear with, because Caitlin never did come back with my oxides. Okay. Tell ya, can't get the staff. can't get this. Oh, hello, I turned the light off. Right, so let's bring my oxides in. No, thank you, darling, I'm good. Okay. So, you've got 2 granddaughters you need to make cards for next week, so I am keeping saying at the minute. Oh, no crafting yet, just getting the other desk downstairs. Well, this is the thing, we've just got to do whatever we need to. In all honesty, I haven't been able to do as much crafting as I wanted to yet, but those regulars, to my, I know they've been a bit reluctant, not a bit reluctant, a bit sparing my Try It Out Tuesday so far this year, but if you're a regular to my Try It Out Tuesdays, have you noticed anything? I'll give you a hint. I'm spinning round on my chair. And what can you hear? Nothing. Nothing. He fixed the chair. He fixed the chair. It's very exciting. Right, I've only got my noisy heat gun, so, you know, just cover thy ears, just a sec. Lovely. So, okay, so you can see there's lots of sort of colours all blending in and whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in, I'm going to grab some oxides that I think are going to work with this palette, okay? So I'm going to need, I need a jazzy green. I'm not sure a cracked pistachio is going to cut it. I'm really not. You can also obviously use, oh, a crushed olive. We might have a winner. You can also use, obviously, your regular distress as well. You know, last time I was on Hochanda, which was only last week. It feels like a million years ago. It was a week ago today. Oh my God. It feels so long ago. So much has happened. You know, I was actually using my regular distress quite a lot that day because, in all honesty, I got them out. And every time I do, I know I've had this conversation with you before, so I'm really sorry. Every time I do, I'm like, why do I keep abandoning my oxides, my regular distress? Because I'm a bad human. Right. So we're going to go with those colours for now. And I'm going to grab some stamps. And I'm going to grab some of the ones Janie was using on Sunday. So I've got the borders and circles, texture borders and texture circles. I've also got, I collapsed over the counter last week. I did collapse over the counter, and I apologise to anybody that was potentially offended by my throwing my sentiment over my shoulder. But Sam and I had a very long day at that point. There was lots of stuff going on in between. And I knew for a fact I wasn't going to get it to stamp straight. So I was just like, do you know what? There comes a time where you're just like, there's no point. There's no point carrying on. Right, so I've got my texture borders and circles. I've also got my sound wave borders because they're excellent. I've got my Dragonfly art out, my ledger, my typewriter alpha, and my stitch borders as well. So I'm probably going to go a bit nuts, probably going to add a little bit on. I know. How will we ever know the difference? But there we are. That's just life. Ooh, what's over there that I could also use? No, let's just chill out, Bev. Just calm yourself down. And I was really good first, and I had all my acrylic blocks, and then I've put the wallet somewhere. So I'm going to end up using the same acrylic. Oh, there they are. Now, whether you're using super skinnies or the original slims, this is fine because I don't always mount the stamps. In fact, this one probably got 0 stick to it because I never ever stick it to anything. I just sort of add it in. As in, will that even, look how hard I'm pressing it on, will that even stay on the block? Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to grab, yeah, we'll do texture borders first. So let's put those to the side. We'll do texture borders first. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our oxides and we're going to add in a couple of generations of stamp off each print basically. Okay, and then I'm going to do, so yeah, so I'm working with fossilized amber, carved pumpkin. I keep taking that off, don't I? And then I'm going to add in some wilted violet, but I'm actually going to just overlap that one slightly and then put the second generation of this one there. Okay, and then my crushed olive. Yeah, it was quite funny. It was quite funny, and I had to laugh at, you know, the lovely Rachel when Sam was stamping. Hey, Bev, do you want to come and have a look and see how it's done proper? I mean, really. Okay, so I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to swap it for another one. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. What I'll do is I'll work my way backwards. I'll do crushed olive. And then that one down there. So I'm trying to get, so I've got a sort of mixture of length of border and, you know, because these are all sort of similar length, so we want to add in some extra. So they don't all have to go to the top, and we definitely don't want them all to go to the bottom. Gold star for Sam and only green for you. I'll take it, it's fine. Alright, and then we'll do our carved pumpkin. I'm going to go there, I think, and there. And put a little bit more carved pumpkin in, I think. And down here. And actually, I'm not going to do fossilized amber with this one. And then, on your texture borders, this is awesome. It's like Rick Rack, which, when I was primarily a scrapbooker, was my favouriteest ribbon. I would add Rick Rack to anything. Absolutely loved it. I think it's because it was, you know, it's got that bit of texture without being too sort of girly, for want of a better description. You know, you could just sort of add it in a bit and have fun with it, and you know, and you could always get it in a load of colours that were absolutely awesome. So yeah, I loved a bit of Rick Rack me. Oh, that's quite nice. But I'm going to have to make that longer, aren't I? Because otherwise that's just going to look silly. I ain't the wrong end. Okay. So, where's my cloth? I've lost it again. So I think I'm just going to do some Rick Rack there. Yeah, just a bit of Rick Rack there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move now from my texture border. So you can see they all just fall off because I usually just use them on tags and they're mounted and on my fingers. We're going to move on and we're going to go to our stitch borders. So these are some of the elements you will find in the digital art stamps, for example, Dragonfly art, time measure and what have you. And the reason they're in separate elements is because basically the Queen Bee requested it. Mother, because she likes to do her planners in her journals. She said they're absolutely great, and she loves the big stamps, but a lot of them are too big for her type of project. She likes to do smaller in her A5 planners in journaling. So she says I need the separate elements. That's why we have the stitch borders, because they are really handy. Okay. Sorry, I've got a dry throat, come on. So I'm going to go back in with my Wilted Violet. And this is sort of like a paint splatty border type thing, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to put a little bit on there and fade it out almost. And then I'm going to do crushed olive onto here. And then one and fade it out a little bit more. Okay. Oh yes, they're building up quite nicely, aren't they? Rather good. I might do a carved pumpkin of that one. I'm just going to do that length. Oh, thank you. God, the service is good. Thank you, Tonk.
You want me to take it away, save you knocking it over?
Hang on. Thank you, that's better. Whee! Okay. And then we're going to go in with some more. I think I'll go in with the tape measure. Has to be done. Or do I save the tape measure for after? I'm going to save the tape measure for after. You know, I am at a slight advantage. I do know what's coming. So there is that. Right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get a mandala number 3. Okay, and we're going to put our mandala sort of up here. Okay. Now, you could obviously ink through this. You could texture paste through it, which I think I might do. I might gesso through it really quickly. So, oh, or I could. I've got some Delusions white paint. That will dry really quickly. Okay. So what I'm going to do is get a Delusions white paint. Does this one still work? That one doesn't, no. Because I'm not a good girl like Jane and I don't spritz on before I finish. That one does. Here we go. So I'm going to get a blending tool. You can see I've obviously done this before. Blending tool with a blending foam on. And I'm going to just take a little bit of my white paint. I'm just going to work it in to my foam. Okay. Take off the excess. And I'm just going to work over this mandala at the top. Okay. So we're just going to, I'm just going to dab. Because I want it, I don't necessarily want it that opaque, I want it quite, I just want it white enough. Okay, so you could dry brush this too if you wanted to, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep just doing a bit of a dib dib dab dob 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 over. No, I can lift it up and check it, that's fine. So this is number 3, and like Jane was saying the other day, if you know, these do have the outer with them. If you don't want, if you want, a very clean line outside, you can get that just by using the outer that comes with it. So yeah, okay. I'm reasonably happy with that. Oh, what did I just do? No idea. Right. So we've got that on there. Now, you can do 2 things with this. You can leave it to dry. I'm just going to grab a paintbrush because I'm just going to grab that out. Just going to add a little bit. Oh, no, I'm going to do it that way. Using the edge of my blending tool. Just to take that out a little. Okay. So, we've got that, a mandala on the end. So we've got our mandala and our borders on, and we're just now going to start building it up in different ways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this another quick blast with my super loud heat tool. You could leave it to dry if you wanted to, if you're not doing a Facebook Live and trying to show a page to completion. But Delusions paint does dry really, really quick, so, you know, we're alright. I mean, that's not it completely dry yet, but it's dry enough for me to continue working around it. Just going to give my mandala a quick wipe off. I would say if you can, wash it off straight away, but unfortunately my templates are very rarely treated to such, you know, wonderful treatment. They're used and abused and what have you. Right, okay, I've lost my ledger. Oh, there it is. Okay, because now I'm going to go in with my ledger. Now, the large numbers that are available on the website, they were supposed to be used tonight, but I couldn't find mine, and Sam was supposed to bring hers to the ponies, and she didn't, so it's all her fault I haven't got them. But yeah, I was going to put some numbers up here, so don't worry. Right, so as my VersaFine is starting to fade, I've got a little, oh, in fairness, I've got a bigger memento. I've got a little memento dewdrop, but I'm sure I've got a bigger one. I wonder how alive that is. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay. And we're going to roll our ledger. We're going to add on just a little bit of text. Onto our page. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just sort of bending it and going along the middle, sort of doing a little border to go along there. And now I'm going to start adding in some more of my darker, some more of the blacks stamping. But the thing is, I am going to go back over this with some colours later and add in. I have no idea how long I've been going so far, so sorry guys if I'm really going on. But I'm kind of having a whale of a time, so you know. Okay, so I'm going to go from it. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to do as much crafting as I'd hoped yet, so this is sort of me away now, isn't it? Alright, so here is another one of the stitched borders. I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to bring that in down here. Okay, oh, sorry. And then, yeah, I always used to use Memento, in fairness. Memento was always my ink pad of choice. And I still like it. I still like it a lot. Memento is great. It's cheap. You can use it with your alcohol pens, watercolours. I actually use it with watercolour. You know, sometimes it needs heat. I heat set it or leave it overnight. But I do that with VersaFine as well. So either or is fine for me. I like them both. Alrighty. Okay. So is that dry enough yet? Nope, not quite. Oh, I did actually forget to add in some of my sound waves, didn't I? So I'm going to go with this one. This is Soundwave Dots, which again is my favourite sound wave. As daft as it sounds, you can tell from my sheet which one does Bev like most. This one, then this one, then this one, because you can see which one bless it, just gets cleaned the least, which means it gets used the most. So that's sort of the beginning and end. I'm going to go in with my sound wave dots right there. I think I'll do another sound wave dots up here. Ooh, magnificent. Okay. Then I'm just going to turn, sorry, I'm going to turn this way and see how I'm feeling. I'm okay. I'm alright. I quite like it so far. Right, so I'm going to go, what I think I'm going to do, now this shouldn't take too long, but you know, if it does, just let me know and I'll skip on to the next bit. I'm going to go in, and I'm actually just going to go in with the biro. I'm going to just draw around. I have to say, one of my favourite things, like accessory things I've bought recently, is a charcoal pencil. I absolutely love it. It's so good. I think I've just moved a little bit. But I have to say, doodling on the whole is probably one of my favourite things to do with my inkables. So I think that's why this afternoon, when I had just that little bit of time, which I didn't really have, I should have been helping Dave do the lawn. But you know. Yeah, I was just instantly drawn to, oh, Delusions paints, inkable, you know. And that's where it took me to. So, like I say, if there's anything you guys want to see, please let me know. You know, I know I'm doing Try It Out Tuesday. Oh, we are going to try tomorrow. Abby is going to have a go at doing her first Facebook Live as well. So when I've got an idea when, I'll let you know. So if you do have kids at home that want to watch Abby, or say you need just 10 minutes, half hour to do something, you know. Have you ever used a second stamp? Yes, I have. You know, if you know, or say you need just 10 minutes, you know, Abby will be doing a Facebook Live, doing some crafty things. I know she wants to do some watercolor wash backgrounds, and like hand drawn cards. So it's not just like for Be Crafty products. It is going to be just Abby's basically allowed to use and do what she wants. It's just something that she wants to do. So I'm not going to be putting any sort of like restrictions on her that she has to use things, because she wants to do it for all the other kids that might be at home by themselves. When I say by themselves, I mean like, you know, not necessarily any other kids to talk to or anything. Or, you know, like her, ones that are just annoyed with her little sister. But I have to say they've been quite good so far. Not too much bickering. So yeah, so I'm just working my way around. You know, I could have done this with my Delusions paint pens as well. That would have been quite cool. Can't lie, didn't think of it. Like I said, I only really remembered I had them today. So here we go. I'm just going to do this. Oh, I forgot about the middle. I'm going to do this last one. Just coming down here. I think that will do. Okay, so that added that in. But you could also as well. Should I have gone around the outside? Do we think? Should I? I'm not really sure. Not really sure I like what I've done here, to be honest, kids. Not really sure. It hasn't It had gone better than I thought at the beginning, and now it's sort of evolving. But what I will say what I do with my journaling is I do just keep going until I'm happy with it. Because, you know, we always say, oh, it's just a piece of card or it's just a piece of paper or whatever. But I think, especially in the situation we are currently all in, it really is. So just keep going, you know, because for me as well, if you're not entirely happy with how something's going, you have nothing to lose because it's already going that way. You know, it is what it is already. So you have nothing to lose by carrying on. It's just is what it is. My script stamp. We're gonna add on some of my script stamp. Okay. So we're gonna go in, and I'm actually gonna go this way this time. So just ink up some gorgeous randomness. Oh yeah. Oh no, that was the lid. Okay, so. Oh yes, I think so. A little bit of scriptage. Marvellous. Okay. So, already like it more. Okay. And then I'm going to take the long lace from the Dragonfly art. Okay. And this is the thing, when, I am sorry, but when I'm crafting, and I'm not obviously on telly, because on the telly obviously we have to use what we have put on the show that day. When I'm doing Facebook Lives, I can just bring it all in. But obviously if you don't have Mandala 3, there's other mandalas or there's other similar so I'm hoping I can, you know, you can, if you like it obviously, you can build up something similar. You could absolutely do some Zentangle. Emily Burke, who used to be on our DT, she did this beautiful Zentangle with the love template. It was absolutely beautiful, really liked it. So okay, black, I think. I did actually clear this desk earlier. Ginormous waste of time, I think. Anyway. Yeah, so this is the lace border from the Dragonfly art. And this was really, the reason I did this border, I think, was just to prove to any naysayers or doubters that you can get that sort of detail with a polymer stamp. Okay, because believe it or not, there are those who doubt the greatness of the clear polymer stamp. Obviously none of you do, of course, but it happens. Okay, so if you look, I'm just going to get that so you can see. Look at all that lace detail. Comes out. Blooming brilliant. Absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. So good. Right. And now I'm going to get a few of my circles. So these are the circles. Now, one of the things that wasn't mentioned the other day about your texture discs, texture circles, sorry, that came with the texture borders. Two of them are in two parts. So you have, I'll take them off. These two here, the bark, you've sort of got a positive and a negative, and they will almost fit into each other if you wanted to use them like that. So they are quite good. It's sort of like a positive and negative. Even from a filthy dirty stamp. That's mother. Yes, a filthy, dirty stamp. But this proves on the back of all of your Be Crafty stamp laminates, right? The more you use your stamp, the better it'll perform. So ink it, use it, and wash it a few times. Okay, so I ink it and use it. You know, the wash it a few times, I'm, you know, a little bit more, I don't know. Basically, I just don't do it. I wash my stamps properly when they stop sticking. That's when I'll properly wash my stamps. If they've stopped sticking to the acrylic block, then I wash them. Okay, so this is your texture circles, which, as you can see, I use primarily just by going onto my fingers and then adding on. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, and I think we need a little bit more fossilized amber in here. I really do. So I'm going to go with our fossilized amber. I'm going to add, oh yes, I was absolutely right, by the way. Fossilized amber. Beautiful. In there. Alright. Now, I'm going to take a couple of the paintbrushes. These two paintbrushes here on the butterfly arts, on the Dragonfly art stamp, are the very, very reason Jane Royston bought this stamp set. Because she wanted those two brushes. So you know. Sam's still eating. Nah, she's here. I see her. Okay, so I'm just going to take these two. And I'm going to put these. So this is, which I know a lot of you have, one of the regular slims. So if you don't like the skinny slims, you don't like the flexibility, these are the regular slims. They're about 5 mil thick, but there is absolutely no flexibility to them at all. Well, I'm sure you could if you really, really try, but it ain't going to work very well after. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our brushes and we're going to put them there. And then we're going to do it again. Then we're going to take the little one off. And we're going to ink up the big one. And we're going to go again. Okay? Because that way it's an odd number. Because if it's an even number, I don't like it. Right. And then off the Dragonfly art, let me put these back on. We're actually going to take the Dragonfly, but we're not going to stamp it straight on here because I think I'm going to use, or should we stamp it straight on there? What do you think? Should we stamp it straight on there? Because I was just going to do the Dragonfly separately, but now I'm not so sure. It's like I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. I don't really know. Come on, peeps. Dragonfly on. Dragonfly off. Dragonfly on. Like the whole thing. Or Dragonfly off. I think the whole thing. I wasn't gonna, but I think I am. Alrighty. So, I'm gonna take my Dragonfly art, and this is on the biggest of the super skinnies. So because of how I'm going to stamp it, I'm going to turn my book. You know what I say, don't turn yourself inside out, there's just no need. Is the paint dry? Yeah, it's not dry. I'm not going to go right to dry. That sounds like I've prepared in a way I've just not. Okay, so we're going to ink up using our memento, and I'm actually going to go over it a few times because I want to make sure. Okay, and then I'm going to line up the edge of his ledger with the edge of that lace border. And we are going to go for it. Okay. Oh my goodness gracious. Absolutely fan-bloomin-tastic. Okay, and now I think it's time for our typewriter alpha. And we're going to go with, what's a nice sentiment? Or do I just put a little art there? Ooh, I think I might just put a little art. Because also on your Dragonfly art stamp you have the word art. So I think what I'm going to do is just get my art and stamp that on there. Okay, now this is where you can really have a play with the mediums you have. Okay, so you could either watercolor with your Inktense or your oxides, or you know, your watercolor pencils. You could start bringing them in as well. I've got everything on my desk actually because of the conversations we were having earlier. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Delusions paint pens, I think. So you see that one just needs a little bit of a... Oh, come on, you were working earlier, you naughty thing. Isn't it the same? It's like when you guys will know this sometimes, you'll phone us up and all of a sudden the computer stops working. Here we go. So I'm just going to go in with my paint pen. Beautiful, beautiful. And paint up some of these brushes. But like I say, you can go in. Can you see that one there? So I'm going to go in with my paint pen. You know, or you could go in with your Inktense blocks and a really fine brush. I have my favourite brush, which now I can't see for this job. It's this one. It's a really, really little nib. And it's my favourite brush for this job. And what I'll do is sometimes what I'll do, you see, instead of having a water pot out on the table, because that's just... I'll get like my mini mister and I'll put my cloth like sort of in my hand or over my hand. You can see I also just use my hand, and I will dip my paintbrush in there and then get my Inktense that way. You know, why not? Like I say, you can also obviously watercolour with your oxides if you want to keep it, you know, perfectly right palette. Just put a bit of oxide onto your blending mat. Again, same water brush. And then come in with your oxides too. Okay? So there's so many possibilities there, which are great. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some oxides. No, I'm going to go... Oh, I don't know. This is the problem, you see. When I've got it all out, it's like, well, what do I go for now? Who knows? I'm just going to keep... I'm going to highlight a little bit of this Dragonfly, I think. This is so much fun, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm absolutely loving it. Come on, a little bit of oxide in there. A little bit of Inktense there, sorry. And then again. Hasn't quite dried on that paint, but that's alright. My fault, I knew it wasn't quite dry, but I think that's okay. That needs a little bit more purple in there, I think. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. You do need to start you do need to start using your watercolours. Because they're just a fun thing. And like I say, let's, you know, with everything blooming well going on, let's use it as an opportunity to get all the stuff out that we've been meaning to have a play with, but just haven't, you know. So where is my charcoal pencil? Okay, so my charcoal pencil, I actually just like to just do a sort of rough sort of line. You can use it doing some shading, but what I'm actually going to do, instead of using charcoal to do my shading, my little paintbrush that I adore, I've just thrown to the side, I'm going to use some crushed olive. Okay, so I'm going to put that on my mat, and then with me water, I'll use a slightly bigger brush actually. I'm just going to go, I'm just going to create a little bit, push it out of a shadow, a little crushed olive shadow, brush it out around our dragonfly. Okay, that's quite nice. I might do the same around the lace. Added in a bit more than I wanted, but that's fine. Brush it out. Brush it out, there we go. And then a bit more again. And then brush it out. And you can just see it just gets it to pop out just a little bit under these brushes. Brush it out. Okay, so as you can see, I will keep going with this and I will keep adding more in, and then I'll get things like my white Delusions pen, or if you've got a white Sharpie or anything like that, then I'll go in and start adding in my little dots and things that I like to add in. Which you're quite welcome to stay for, okay, but, you know, I do appreciate that you're like, well, she's just doing dots and doing her fussing now, and this is the thing, you know, if I did this sort of thing on Chanda, you know, no one else would get on that day, it would just be me doing my colouring. You can go in and highlight these areas with these brushes, like where it would be metallic. I'm actually going to make white, but you could go in with a gold pen as well, which would be really, really cool. You know, I can go in and pick out the body of this dragonfly. You know me, I've got loads of white pens. I've got my Inktense pen, I've got this white pen, this Delusions one, which I love. I love a white pen. Happiness is a white pen, I'm telling you. The girl I went to uni with, she always said if you had a good pair of slippers, comfy pair of slippers, you've got no reason to be unhappy. And in fairness, she was one of the happiest people I ever knew. So I'm going to keep going here, but this is the thing, you can then start if you wanted to, and I'm fully aware my mother is probably shouting at me right now going, stop, right, you can go in with some of your other inkables, which is this one I've got. If you're on Chanda, it's set 6, if you're not, it's the stitches I'm going to do, you know. You can start adding in, you know, other stitches. You know what would be really nice there? A couple of big numbers. Just saying. White pen, you see? See? Lorraine, you and me are like, that, I tell you. White pen's amazing. And it just adds on that bit extra. It also means if you've been working on a page, and it doesn't feel finished, but say you craft at the dining room table and you've had enough of sitting at the dining room chair or whatever, but you want to keep working on it, grab your pens, go get a comfy seat in front of the telly, okay, and then work from there and just sit and doodle with it. And you know, it's almost like when I used to do a lot of stamping and colouring in, you know, I'd stamp a load of them the day before and then sit and colour them in. Effectively, you could get a lot of your art journal bases done and then go back in and doodle on them and, you know, add more in, which is great. Oh, I'm just going to add, because there's a star here on the Dragonfly art. With the digital art stamps, you will notice there's, you know, there's so much in there, and the more you look at it, the more you'll see. Because I get carried away adding elements in. Well, why wouldn't I? So, you know, the stars, and I remember I was doing some, I can't remember what I was doing. I was picking out elements and I said, oh, we could do a stars. And Mum went, well, there isn't any stars on it, so that would look silly. I was like, yeah, there is. Is there? I haven't seen them. You know, and bear in mind, as the queen bee, she gets last word, first word, only word, the word on everything we do. So she had definitely proofed the stamps. And she was like, I don't remember seeing that at all. So, I actually don't know when I'm going to stop with this one. Well, I'm just going to go along here and add in some bits. And that's the fun thing when you're crafting like this. You can keep going, you can stop, you can add more in. You know, and, you know, like I said to you, I went through a rocky patch with this about 20 minutes ago. Oh, I'm not sure I like where this is going. I was really happy with it at the start. And now I just don't know. Even big stamp numbers. Did I say letters? I meant numbers. Big stamp numbers would look lovely there. They very much would. Now, something like this would obviously work really well as a mixed media piece as well. If you were working on, say, one of the art boards or a piece of MDF, you know, you could do texture paste with that, and then you could start bringing in other elements if you wanted to, like MDF and whatever. But because this is in this book and I want to keep it quite flat, I'm not going to do that. But, you know, you could add in quite a lot of other elements should you desire. But it's all about, and obviously the colour wash, you could chop that up. Yes, so where are they? I don't have them. I don't have the big numbers. I was supposed to have your big numbers, because Sam was supposed to bring them to the farm, but she didn't come. So I don't have them. And I just sit here crying. What I could do is, you'll find random numbers on the digital art as well. What I could do is just put some random numbers. They're actually not going to be random numbers. They're going to be numbers that, you know, mean something to me. But you won't know what they are. 3, 7, 12. Because I just feel like it needs them. I'll put them there. Lovely. Okay. Right, guys, I am gonna give it up while I'm still happy with that. I really am. So we will obviously, if there's anything you'd like to see, any other Facebook lives, let me know. We will try and keep up with try it out Tuesdays at the very least. Abby, like I say, is very much looking forward to doing her first Facebook Live tomorrow. So I'll let you know at a time. Do you want me to lift that down so you can have a look in a sec? You know, I'll let you know the time so you can, you know, decide whether you want to join in or get the kids to look at it or whatever. So, but if there's anything else you want to see, let us know. We will keep up the chat as well. Like I say, lots of you have been messaging just to check in and whatever. That's absolutely fine. Feel free to keep doing so. Like I said, we are going to keep sending orders out as long as Royal Mail keeps picking up, which is great. So let me move those things past the side. Right, let me lift you down. So we've got, you know, all that detail. See, look at that detail in that lace stamp. And like Mother said, from an absolutely dirty stamp as well. You know. So there we are. There's a Dragonfly art journal page. I hope you had as much fun as I did, guys. I really do. Right, thank you so much for joining me. I'm off to get my tea now. Like I say, if you need anything, please get in touch. Bye-bye.